And we're back with a new video. I got a great question from our community Ask Me Anything form about why do we do all of our programs and services outdoors? And that's a very loaded question. But this person in particular gave some context and background about like their child building strength and their child building gross motor skills that were a little bit delayed. And so the one thing I want to share about why we choose outdoors instead of indoors is that it comes down to the environment. Anything in an indoor environment is controlled. It is set up mostly for success and to give your body the least amount of work, creating the least adaptive response. And what I mean by that is like the floor is smooth and flat. The lights are perfectly lit. It's temperature controlled. There's nothing really that you're gonna maybe unexpectedly trip on if you're in like a gym or a ninja warrior place or jiu-jitsu, karate, they're all smooth, flat mats. Now, that's not to knock any of those sports. I think we have incredible resources in sports and opportunity for movement. But the reason we go outside is because the environment is not controlled. And if you set your body up to be in controlled environments all of the time, the adaptation when you go into something that is not controlled or unexpected is totally different. Your senses are different. The way you move your body is different. Your level of attention changes when you're outside. Even if you're just walking on a trail that's flat, like not much incline, there's tree roots, there's rocks, there's branches that have maybe fallen down. The light through the trees changes and shifts around each corner. And so everything in your body is activated and alert and engaged and attuned to the environment in which you're in. But you're not in an environment where it actually becomes overstimulating, like an indoor space. Light refracts and bounces off the wall. Sound refracts and bounces off the wall in an indoor space. Outside, you quite literally have the space to be dialed into your body, attuned to your body and the environment, but not overstimulated and overwhelmed. And so we choose the outdoor environment. We choose nature as a co-facilitator for all of our programs, both therapeutic and enrichment, for that reason. The other thing that I love about nature is that it evens the playing field for the child and the adult. It is not an adult-directed environment. I do not create nature or own nature and own and design the outdoor space. Whereas if I was in a clinic and a school and a hospital and a child comes into a therapy session, like they're walking into my space as a therapist. And so it's like an adult directed and driven environment. Outdoors in nature, if I'm walking around with a kiddo and a tree fell down that wasn't there last week, like we both have to problem solve that together. And so the relationship and the trust, the connection, the communication is completely different when you're outside. And there's so much wonderful research behind that shows like if you need to improve a relationship with a person in your life, go do that outside, have walks together, talk outdoors, because it's a much more conducive environment. And so that's another piece to the puzzle. I also love nature because it's so unpredictable and it's not controlled. And so now we're tapping into the emotional regulation piece, the self-awareness piece, listening to our interoception if we're a little uncomfortable because it's raining, or a little nervous because the sun is setting and it's getting dark outside. All of our senses and everything in our body has to change based on the environment. That, if you think about it, that reflects real life. I mean, once you become an adult and have a career, have a family, have responsibilities, well, all the things, like, that life just keeps lifing. And there are things that you can do to create more of a stable life and have rhythms and routines, but there's so much about life that becomes unpredictable and out of your control as well. And so as an adult, you are constantly adjusting and adapting to the situation, the environment, the people, whatever the circumstance may be. If you don't practice that, then being an adult feels hard. If you spend your life in a controlled, comfortable environment all of the time for many years, and then you grow up and you have to launch into adulthood and keep going, like when you face adversity or challenge or unexpected things come up, like it's going to feel hard and taxing. You may not stay emotionally regulated like you would like to because you haven't had enough practice. So this video could be really long about why we choose nature. This is just like certain parts of the research, and there's more to it, but I hope that answers the question.